Hello and welcome to another Raggy's Beers, Wines and Spirits review. I've moved the beer room around and I've still got no space, but the hot tub's in the corner now. 16 by 10 shed this is, and bloody hell, we didn't pump it down this year and it's taking up room. So anyway, today I'm going to be reviewing from Asda yesterday. Never heard of the brand before, strangely enough. Cranes Cider, and this is a raspberry and pomegranate cider. So very interesting. It says here naturally light, and I can't read the writing on the back for the life of me, not in this crappy light. So 4% volume, as most ciders are, you know, fruit ciders especially. Without further ado though, let's crack it open. Now I've never ever had a raspberry and pomegranate cider. I've just made some pomegranate juice wine, and it's actually turned out better than expected. I'll do another review at some stage. I'm leaving it to ferment a bit more. I mean, it's more palatable than the prune juice. The prune juice is an acquired taste. Good on the bowels though. So colour wise, just looks as you'd expect it really. You know, that something in between what raspberry juice and pomegranate juice looks like. A bit darker than the pomegranate wine that I've made. So, as you'd expect, very thin head that will dissipate quite quickly. Good carbonation and lacing. Raspberry on the forefront of the aroma. Definite raspberry straight away. Oh, that's bloody refreshing, that is. Definitely the pomegranate showing through as well. Oh, it's a bit Baltic in here. I've been painting for all last night, Saturday night, and if anybody's been watching these, I clicked on publish all instead of just publish one, which is why there's been 2 videos online with just a number on, and that's what you get when you're tired and you're absolutely shattered. I was up decorating till about 11:30 last night, and then got back on it this morning as soon as I woke up. Good to say, the room's decorated. I'm letting it dry now, and then as you do, putting everything back into it and sorting it out, and it's good to have one room back to normal. We had 5 rooms where we had to redecorate, had plaster took off in 5 rooms this year. We've had an awful year with certain bits and bobs. Yeah, took all the plaster off the wall, put membrane on, because we live in an older house which it got air bricks underneath, but it still drags the you know, the airflow is obviously not good enough, or the design wasn't good enough, so damp is an issue. Hopefully no more. So yeah, cracking carbonation and lacing, and this is a harp glass, so it is a lager glass, so it should show up, you know, the carbonation and lacing anyway. Lovely poppy smell to it, you know, it's it's a nice blending. You can taste the raspberry, you can taste the pomegranate, and these wacky varieties that are coming out, you know, they're really good. I'm proper happy with, you know, what's coming out these days. That is really refreshing. And when I went to Asda yesterday, there wasn't much on the beer front of things. You know, there's only 2 or 3 that I've not had before. A few lagers that I picked up, mainly ciders. You know, there's an abundance of ciders that I've not tried before, or certainly not reviewed before. If you're a big fan of Recorder Lig, I think Asda are probably, or maybe Tesco's as well, but certainly not Sainsbury's. Sainsbury's don't even have Recorder Lig anymore, which is sad. You know, one of the better brands. I mean, I know Copperberg is the best cider brand, but yeah, it's sad to see, you know, brands disappearing. But obviously it's good to see brands appearing. You know, I've never heard of Cranes before, obviously not in this part of the country, and I've been in the beer industry, well, I left in 2015, but still follow it massively, obviously, when doing reviews, and I've not heard of this brand. But I will from now on, obviously I'll be taking a notice of it. And it was actually, funnily enough, I posted some photos of the beer bottles to Instagram, and somebody from Cranes says, "Oh, would review any of our ciders?" And I thought, I don't even know where you're going from. And then obviously you walked into Asda. How freaky is that? You walk into Asda and there they are, and 3 varieties that I've never tasted before. So not just the brand, but the actual blending of the fruit. So I am freezing. Let me get cracking. Oh, I love the taste in this. Really nice, refreshing, you know, and it's cool, so it's the right temperature for it. It's cool in this shed, I know, but yeah, definitely the right temperature for it. Oh, so you know, for me, obviously being a beer fan, I've watched beer, you know, real ales and whatnot, go from real ales into a massive world of, you know, cans had disappeared at one stage, and now everything seems to be in can form. But the craft beer revolution, you know, has been so good for a beer fan. Now the ciders are certainly catching up now. The sheer amount of different flavoured ciders, and some ciders, you know, I mean, everyone's seen strawberries and lime and obviously apple cider, pear cider. But when it comes to, you know, stuff like this, that, you know, I've never seen before, you know, and it tastes good as well, which is always the thing, isn't it? You know, it's got to taste good, smell good and taste good. I mean, you're never going to get drunk on a 4%er, you know. If you do, good on you, you know, you're a cheap person. Yeah. You can get drunk on one of these, then fair play to you. I wish I could. Oh, still reading about those 39 people that died. Oh God, you just can't fathom it, can you? You know, if the bloke who's driving the van knew they were there and turned the, you know, it was a fridge wagon, wasn't it? Freezer wagon. So he's turned that on. He's committed murder, basically. Because obviously you've took all the air out there. It's all freezing up. They'll all be frozen solid, you know. It's absolutely disgusting, you know. And how often does this happen in the world? You know, it's frightening. You know, why the hell would you do it? You know, you could be so desperate. I mean, I know people are desperate in this world, but you'd look and you'd think, this don't look right, you know. Unless the people behind it are very powerful people with guns and that, and get in there, you know. Terrible, you know, it's, God, what a horrible world we live in when people do things like that, you know, it's, you can't fathom it out, can you? You really can't. All these people, surely it's not so bad in Vietnam that you have to try and smuggle in via a bloody van, you know. I can understand getting in a lorry and hiding amongst the things where you can breathe, but in a container. A bloody container. Just can't understand it. Anyway, back to this. On a brighter note, very nice, lovely looking beer, cider rather. Yeah, the right colour, for, you know, because it is raspberry and pomegranate. It's a blend between the two in the colours. Still good carbonation and lacing. Still good aroma. And yet the pomegranate shines through now. You can actually smell both of them if you take your time, you know, with your nose. And with doing reviews, you know, I've tried to test myself, because if I can't smell it, then, you know, what you're trying to review, then, you know, surely if I can't smell it, then somebody's not doing their job right, you know. You know, if you're used to picking out flavours, that is. That was lovely. Don't have any more. I've got work to do this afternoon, but yeah, that was very nice. So out of 5. No, first things first, break it down. Lovely colour, rosy colour, raspberry on the nose at the initial, and towards it going down the pint, both raspberry and pomegranate were shining through. On the taste, both there straight away, you could taste both. Although take your time and you can really get the strength for both. very refreshing, equally as good as the brand leaders, you know, in the cider world, and a very nice cider. So, loving the flavour, you know, there you go. Yeah, loving the flavour. Never tasted pomegranate before, bar the juice wine that I made, and that's turned out rather nice as well. But yeah, you know, long may these different flavours continue, because by bringing out different flavours, you're enticing a whole new world of people into the cider market. People who think, oh, pomegranate, that sounds nice, you know, and raspberry even. But yeah, I like to see, you know, the beer industry moving on and refreshing itself, and for refreshing, that's a bang on cider. So out of 5 then, I'm going to give it about a 4.4 out of 5. It did exactly what it says on the bottle, or the tin, and yeah, really nice. And if you haven't tasted it before, well worth a try. Alright, thanks for watching, and see you soon. I've got to reach over the settee to turn it off.